I think that first and foremost, a good research question is A, tractable and non-circular, and B, interesting to you. Makes you want to come to lab and work. Now that's very idealistic, right? Because ultimately, if other people don't see it as valuable and interesting, you will not be able to pursue it because you won't have funding. So a good research question is also something that, by virtue of how we arbitrarily place value on things in society, is marketable to the at least the funding population, if not the sort of general population of taxpayers and folks who would be interested in your work. So if you're good, you should be able to take any question that you find interesting and be able to make it engaging to an uninformed audience.
So I think, it starts with really trying to understand what's known, right? And then try and seek out kind of what are the things that aren't known, and which of those things that aren't known are most critical for really, moving our understanding forward. It's kind of abstract, but different people take very different approaches, right? So if you're very bottom up and descriptive, you might say, oh, well, we just need more data about this set of biological features, and I'm just going to go and collect that data. And whereas if you're more top down, you might be identifying problems at a conceptual level, right? And then saying this is the really hard conceptual problem that we need to focus on. And so, I think there's room in science for a multitude of approaches.
I think the number one issue would be something that you're interested in, because when people force themselves to work in an area that they don't want to do, usually it's not a pretty result, that comes out of this. So I think being interested enough that you want to spend your time and you want to spend your weekends, working on this is a critical issue. For me personally, this varies from person to person, but I do also like research questions that address broader issues, in whether it's in society or in sort of in human health or well-being. I like to hear broader questions, but that's really a personal preference. There's many people that have been very successful at focusing on a more narrow aspect and just knowing everything there is to know about that. So I think that's just my personality. But I think in terms of thinking of a research career, you have to have short-term pragmatic goals. As a graduate student, what do you need to do in order to get your PhD thesis? There's been a number of people that I've run into in graduate school and in mentoring that come up with a great plan, but maybe it will take a decade. And so you have to be realistic. But you also want to have something that has a future, that has what I would call legs. So something that if you make these first initial steps to get your degree or to get your postdoc done, that then it also has more long-term future. So those are the sort of things that personally I would look for.